If you go to the University of North Carolina, you know who Silent Sam is. It's been a long journey for the statue, and I think many people thought Sam's journey was coming to an end with the Board of Trustees releasing their decision for his future today. But is that the case? I want to take this opportunity to go through Silent Sam's life here at UNC, all the way from the statue's erection to his toppling to the board's final decision. Will the four-pronged plan be the last we hear of Silent Sam, or is this just the beginning of more protests and debates? During the Civil War, over 1,000 students and faculty from UNC enlisted in the Confederate forces, of whom 287 lost their lives. The university was able to stay open, educating those who couldn't fight in the war, those who were disabled, too young, or excluded from fighting for other reasons. After the war, North Carolina's branch of the United Daughters of the Confederacy decided they wanted to erect a monument to honor those from UNC who had fallen during the war. Thus, the birth of Silent Sam. Silent Sam was funded for by the university, alumni, and the United Daughters of the Confederacy. At 3:30 p.m. on June 2nd, 1913, Silent Sam was unveiled. 1,000 people were there, speeches were given. The university's band played Dixie. This seems nice, right? Honoring fallen soldiers who were once students at this very university, all while music plays. And I'm sure the upper quad looked beautiful in June that year. But it wasn't so nice. There's one speech that anti-Silent Sammers keep coming back to prove why he should no longer be on this campus. Julian Carr, a UNC alumni, trustee, and former Confederate soldier, and the largest single donor to Silent Sam's erection, got up to speak on the statue's behalf that day. He praised the student soldiers and the Confederate efforts. He said, quote, "The present generation scarcely takes note of what the Confederate soldier meant to the welfare of the Anglo-Saxon race during the 4 years immediately succeeding the war. Their courage and steadfastness saved the very life of the Anglo-Saxon race in the South." This 4 years after that he's talking about is in reference to the Reconstruction era, when the Ku Klux Klan was working to restore white dominance in the South and terrorizing those who disagreed with them. So that's how Silent Sam came about. But that's just the beginning of his century-long debate. Sam's been the site of controversy and protest since the 1960s. In March of 1965, Sam's meaning in history was the topic of a letter to the editor written to the Daily Tar Heel. After Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination in April of 1968, the statue was vandalized with orange, yellow, and green paint. In the 1970s, the statue was the site of many student demonstrations held by the Black student movement. In 1992, students gathered at the statue to speak out after Los Angeles police officers were found not guilty for the beating of Rodney King. In 2003, a letter to the editor was written calling Sam an eyesore of the university. On September 1st, 2011, a protest was held at Sam calling for a new plaque to tell what the protesting group called, quote, "the true history of the Confederate soldier." In July of 2015, the statue was vandalized in the words Black Lives Matter, KKK, and murderer. A little later that month, the North Carolina General Assembly passed an act stating that, quote, "an object of remembrance located on public property, aka a public university, may not be permanently removed." However, this act does allow it to be relocated as long as the monument is in sight of similar prominence, honor, visibility, access, etc. On January 12, 2016, a man was arrested for spray painting a message on Silent Sam. This brings us almost to the present. The past year or so has been extremely volatile for the statue. In August of 2017, the mayor of Chapel Hill sent a letter to the university asking it to petition the North Carolina Historical Commission to remove Sam in the interest of public safety. And since then, there have been many demonstrations, Daily Tar Heel articles, and protests. Some protests that the UNC chancellor and president have urged people to stay away from in case they got dangerous. Silent Sam has seen a lot over the years, and with every spray-painted word, he came closer to the day when he would be brought down. It was the night before classes were to start in August of 2018. A Remove Silent Sam rally was held. Speeches started at 7 p.m. UNC graduate student Maya Little, who was facing charges for defacing Silent Sam earlier that year, said that it is time to tear down Sam and tear down UNC's institutional white supremacy. By 9:20 p.m., Silent Sam had fallen. Protesters had taken him down with ropes, and their cheers filled the quad. Silent Sam was torn down. He would no longer stand at the door of this university. This was the end of him, or so many protesters thought. After his falling, Chancellor Folt and the Board of Trustees felt there had to be a decision made about where Sam should go. And now, almost 4 months later, that decision has finally been proposed. So here's the plan. Relocation. He would still be on campus in a historical education building estimated to cost $5.3 million to build and another $800,000 a year to maintain. So is this the end? Will Sam move to his new building and stand without being defaced, criticized, or protested in the years to come? I don't think so. But the execution of this new building and the story they tell for the statue being there are crucial to what Sam may face in the future.